All right, bowling fans. Sorry we're a couple minutes late. We had to get through some reels of this championship pair. Our third and fourth seeds, Rick McCormick, Brett Lloyd, getting their practice in underway here. And we also had a special ceremony with the Brunswick Cup as we awarded $10,000 on the Brunswick Cup for WCSM Radio. And the bowlers who participated in the Kremer Roofing Classic in Minster last weekend, who participated in the David Diane Kill Open in Delphos, Ohio midweek, and this BowlerStore.com Classic in Coldwater this weekend, had a points list for players that bowl in all three events for $10,000 in total prize money. Chris Prather took fourth, Alec Keplinger third, Patrick Dabrowski was second. Here you see in the ceremony held just before we went live, Ethan Fiore coming on the lanes, getting that $4,000 first place Brunswick Cup check from the proprietor at Community Lanes and Mr. Doug Davidson. There you see Rick Hardings out there as well. Kevin Kill out there, and Brent from WCSM Radio presenting the trophy to Ethan Fiore. A first place finish in Minster, fifth place in Delphos, and eighth place here in Coldwater. Gave Fiore that win in the Brunswick Cup. Player introductions happening shortly here from Coldwater.
Here we go. Strike to claim it.
And from Pla Mor Lanes in Coldwater, Ohio, this is the PBA BowlerStore Classic presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm $2 Phil Brylo here with you from Coldwater, and there you see your host, proprietor Rick Hardings, getting ready to get us underway for our opening stepladder match. Your number 4 seed, Rick McCormick, is going to be battling your number 3 seed, Brett Lloyd. Thanks, everybody, for piling in.
Oh, come on, you got to do better than that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we are ready to get started with match number 1. Our number 4 seed is a one-time titleist from Cincinnati. Give it up for Rick McCormick. He's facing the number 3 seed, also a one-time titleist from North Liberty, Iowa, Brett Lloyd. Brett Lloyd does have lane choice. Rick McCormick will start the match. How about a nice big round of applause? Let's get this party started.
Thank you, Bobby Jekyll, and we are getting ready to get underway here in Coldwater. Rick McCormick going to be starting us off. It's a fresh application of the 38-foot Viper pattern. There you see urethane in play early. And how about a break? Nope, no break there for McCormick as he leaves the 1, 2, and 10. McCormick's average on the weekend. Well, average doesn't matter here in Coldwater. It is a tough, tough center to bowl in. And the early open frame for McCormick has us underway. First look at Brett Lloyd. Boy, Brett yesterday on B squad, there were 2 players that were plus. One was just slightly plus. Brett Lloyd was in triple digits to the plus. Really made the lanes look a little easier than they actually were, and he's carried that momentum over today. Finished with a plus 188 total. To be the number 3 seed. There you see the urethane rolling up, and with this being a fresh pattern and only a few minutes for each player to break it down, you're going to see some push. If you were watching us earlier today, especially during the round of 8, there was no such thing as push. 0 push whatsoever. Let's see what Lloyd can do here. Once again, my booth a little close to the championship pair, so you may hear me getting a little quiet at particular spots. Some other top finishers we had here in this event. We mentioned Ethan Fiore. He was your number 8 finisher. Altogether, Patrick Dombrowski was 7th, Zach Weedman 6th, and Bailey Maverick made a heck of a run today. He was well outside the top 16, managed to get into the top 16, and then got all the way up to a 5th place finish. Great run today for Bailey Maverick. Take home that 5th place check. $10,000 on top. For our winner today, second frame, light, and hey, a bucket with a handle. Welcome to Coldwater, Brett Lloyd. You make the point that 9 and 10 isn't the easiest pair in the house here at Pla Mor Lanes, but you could also make that point about any of the 8 pairs here at Pla Mor Lanes. And is he going to get a break? Huge break on the spare. Crowd appreciative of the effort. And now McCormick stepping up second frame. There you see Trey Heinrichsmeyer, your number 2 seed. Waiting in the wings for the winner of this match. And wow, it's just everybody's got buckets. Buckets USA. I guess that's a really bad Beach Boys song. All right, our average count so far for first balls in this championship, in this opening match, is 6. Oh, and a bad break there on the chop from McCormick. And the first open frame in our stepladder. It would not surprise me early on the fresh here that 170 or 180 ended up winning this championship match. So you see Heinrichsmeyer talking it over with Zach Tackett on the practice pair. McCormick, that unique wrist action through the ball. 5-pin goes one way, 5-pin goes the other, and you see the celebration by McCormick as he gets it to go. And our first strike here in our championship. Hey, everybody, tell your friends, tell your family. Even if they can't watch now, they can watch the archives later on. That there's PBA Super Regional Action, $10,000 on top, available to watch here for free on the PBA YouTube channel. And once again, I'm Phil Barlow with 10 on the Deck Productions. Thanks again to the PBA for letting 10 on the Deck live stream to their YouTube channel, and thanks to Bowl TV for providing the rights to live stream as well. Bowl TV is your home for the Regional Players Invitational action all through September, October, November would be qualifiers in all 7 of the PBA regions. And you'll be able to see all that action along with the Regional Players Invitational from the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada in December, all available to you as part of your Bowl TV subscription. Go to bowltv.com for your information. And there we go, a big double for Brett Lloyd to keep the pressure on McCormick. McCormick now, yeah, your thing just wasn't doing the job getting around the corner. They've pushed it out long enough. Time to make it and break it. There you go. Great toss by McCormick as he finds himself down by 17 early here in Coldwater. Once again, I want to thank all 73 of our sponsors. We're going to thank some of them between our stepladder match, number 1 and number 2. as we couldn't have that $10,000 on top, an additional $20,000 in the prize fund, as there's no such thing as a rolled 2-pin in Coldwater. I think I saw one all weekend by Brian Robinson. I said they should install a plaque for you after doing that. And ooh, not exactly the most confident of spear making there from McCormick, but gets it done. But now Brett Lloyd can really open up his lead here, working on a double, coming into the beverage frame. And there will be some beverages to be had this evening by our winner, not just because there's $10,000 on top, but because they hold a great Champions Award dinner outside on the patio here at Pla Mor Lanes in Coldwater. And there you go. 3 in a row for Brett Lloyd here in our opening match. Just taking a quick scan. Oil the practice. I believe they did. I believe that was the burn pair on 1 and 2. I was busy getting equipment in position, so I can't 100% confirm that for you. Once again, for those of you joining us the first time, I'm your cameraman. I'm wiggling your camera right now. I'm also your commentator. I'm also switching your show. So I don't get a chance to check the chat that much during the stepladder finals, but you guys can feel free to discuss matters amongst yourselves. As Lloyd looking to get his lead out to 38 pins here, as he stays in urethane and he's got it working. The Rob Stone pork product on the board here in Coldwater for Brett Lloyd. Let's look at McCormick. It is 6 frame. Yikes. That was all looking nasty for a second. Almost a pocket 710. Good cover by McCormick. Once again, Trey Heinrichsmeyer, there you see sitting with Zach Tackett. Heinrichsmeyer, your 2 seed. Zach Tackett, your number 1 seed. Zach has yet to win in this building. His brother EJ won quite a few years back. As this is the 17th edition of a big event in Coldwater. And McCormick gets him to go in the 7th, but it might be too little too late. Depending on what Lloyd can do here in his half of the frame. Yeah, Brett Lloyd last night, when there were 2 players that were plus on B squad, there's whatever the players did in practice and early on in the squad, they just did not treat this Viper pattern with the respect it deserves, and it caused a lot of pain for a lot of players. Lloyd somehow managed to find his way to triple digits to the plus, and then managed to find his way into the stepladder today. And he just keeps firing. Let's put 5 in a row on the board for Brett Lloyd, and he could be ending this match relatively early. Taking a little extra time on the approach, knows how important the shot is. For the half does, cuz. No. And momentum could change in an instant here in Coldwater. Gets the 2, moves on with the count. Last thing you want to do is lose count in this situation. So max for Lloyd, 240. Still has the lead in the match, as the max for McCormick is 226. As you hear Zach Tackett and see Zach walking back. And wow. Yeah, when you miss what little blend there is in this pattern to the left, it's almost like the outside 4 boards on the lane want to feed it to the gutter, and the next set of boards want to feed everything to the head pin and beyond. So McCormick, with the last 4, will get to 206. Obviously, 1 mark and solid counts for Brett Lloyd, and he'll advance against Trey Heinrichsmeyer. 9 gives a bad tease to McCormick, but it goes down. Once again for Lloyd, just looking at get a mark, lock it up. Maybe you can try something in the 10th frame. Foundation frame for Lloyd. Flat 10, and messengers were few and far between this weekend here at Pla Mor Lanes. The toughest little house on the regional tour. You win this super regional title, you get your $10,000 you're going home with. You have earned every single penny. As Lloyd switches to the polyester, looking to lock up this opening stepladder match. You see the confidence on the spare. Nine on the first ball is a winner. Eight, he'd have to get 1. 7 or less, and life's going to get interesting for Lloyd. You see him trying to figure out how to make that subtle adjustment after the split last frame. Nine gets him to advance. 10's even better. And there you see the winner of match number 1. Brett Lloyd, he's going to go chase another piece of equipment. Not a bad deal. Rick McCormick, not a bad weekend's worth of work, though, for 4th place, $2,000. It's going to be $2,500 for 3rd place, $5,000 for 2nd, and of course that big 5-figure prize, $10,000 for 3rd. Well, I don't know what Lloyd's going to learn off of that shot. McCormick gets a spare. A good weekend for McCormick. Got past some struggles. Grounded out when the lanes got tough. And he's going to be taking home 4th place, so it's going to be Brett Lloyd and Trey Heinrichsmeyer in our next match.
And Brett Lloyd defeats Rick McCormick 216 to 183, finishing in 4th place. How about a nice round of applause Rick McCormick.
You're good. 8 shot.
So Heinrich Meyer will get his practice. And while Trey gets his practice, we want to thank all of our great local sponsors that help bring this PBA Super Regional to Coldwater. There you see our diamond, platinum, and gold sponsors scrolling across your screen. We wouldn't be on the air this weekend without them as well. Lots of bowling centers throughout the area, lots of businesses throughout the area. 70 plus total sponsors here in Coldwater for this BowlerStore.com Classic presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair. And once again, we really want to thank WCSM Radio. They were out here Friday. There you see them crossing the screen right now. Brent from WCSM Radio had a great bunch of interviews with PBA players and really helped get the momentum and incentive going for the Brunswick Cup. So Trey, college player out of Wichita State, bowled the event in Delphos, missed Minster, bowled the event in Delphos, and he was on the waiting list here, got in after a couple other players dropped. Trey taking advantage of that rule for the PBA for active collegiate bowlers that if they are part of a team, they can bowl an unlimited number of PBA events as a non-member and still cash more than the normal 2 times per year limit that would be on non-members. So Trey, 2 PBA events this year, one in Lockport, Illinois on Memorial Day weekend. We live stream here on the PBA YouTube channel, where he took second place. A.J. Johnson took him out in the championship match. It was the exact opposite the year before in 2024 in that Celeste Walker Open, as Trey took down A.J. Johnson in that championship match. And then the cash in Delphos. So Trey going 3 for 3 at the PBA pay window this weekend as a college player. Just look at the chat. Belmo's in Australia. So is E.J. Tackett. E.J. Tackett normally bowls this event. He's won here in this building in the past. He made the stepladder last year, where he was beat by eventual winner Zeke Bate in the stepladder. But E.J. bowling an event in Australia. So hopefully, I know him and Natalie are having a great time, because they put up pictures from Australia Zoo yesterday on their social media. And while we're waiting for Trey to finish, once again, we want to thank our season-long sponsor of 10 on Deck Productions, live streaming on the PBA YouTube channel with H5G. They are the official merchandiser of the PBA. After this stepladder is complete, go check out the PBA swag. Get yourself looking good in a PBA sweatshirt or t-shirt, or get yourself ready for winter. You see that knit hat on your screen. You can scan that QR code while your H5G brands is on the screen. Otherwise, H5Gbrands.com will get you all that action. Don't forget, waiting in the wings, it's a Tackett. It's not EJ, it's Zach Tackett. As Trey should be near complete with his practice, and we'll have the announcements from Bobby Jekyll momentarily after lane choice is made. There you you see Rick Harding's proprietor here at Pla Mor Lanes.
Okay, we move on to match number 2. Our number 2 seed, won as a non-member in Lockport last year. He is from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Give it up for Trey Hendricksmeyer.
And we are underway. Brett Lloyd going to be starting the match off as Trey had lane choice. Lloyd with the game 1 victory. Got close towards the end as a late open in the 8th frame let Rick McCormick get a little closer to the match. And we've got the arrows the right way, and we are getting ready to get underway here for our stepladder match number 2. Thanks everybody for joining us today on the PBA YouTube channel. And be sure to tell your friends and family if they missed out on this live, they can catch the archive here on PBA YouTube immediately after things have closed up. And yeah, it's always interesting, especially when you get players using a combination of urethane and reactive on the lanes, on what that ball is going to do. Hendricksmeyer got his 4 shots on each lane, while Lloyd had to observe. He could have went down to 1 and 2 and practiced. But you just never know what that ball is going to do when you get back on the championship pair. How about it? Nope, hooks away just slightly. And the early open frame for Lloyd, and the last thing you want to do is give a young player like Trey Hendricksmeyer any little chance to get an early lead. You see the ball rolled up on his forearm. And that one goes a little long, 2-4-10. All right. We saw a little tentativeness out of both the players in the opening match early on, and we're seeing that a little bit here. For Hendricksmeyer and Lloyd. Hey, shooter. Oh, just looks away. You know, even polyester, you look at this 38-foot Viper pattern, 22 feet of dry, and there's a lot. Like I said, it seems to be once you get inside the first 5 boards on the lane surface here at Coldwater, there's some kind of magnet that takes it towards the head pin or past. I know that's not the case, but if you've been watching here all weekend, you've seen some shots that you don't normally see at a PBA event, and you've seen some leaves you don't normally see at a PBA event. We had a player last night leave a 3.68. Had a player earlier today leave the 1.4589. There you go for Hendricksmeyer. We had a player last night, I believe it was McCormick, in a fill ball. Almost only took out the 1.35 and 9. Almost left the 2.45, 7, 8, 10. How often have you ever seen that in a bowling center? Sometimes you see that when a young player leaves a 6-pound bowling ball. So Lloyd, after the first frame open, even if he strikes here. And the week 10 for Brett Lloyd. I mean, this is just lane topography, tough patterns. You put it together, aggressive bowling balls. I mean, if you're watching the round of 16, round of 8, you saw some of the shots these players literally had to launch to keep the ball in play, and all of a sudden, they launched a little too far right too quick. 3 off the right. Slowed it up a little bit. It didn't get as much loft. Insta friction. 3 off the left. Uh-oh. Ooh. All right. Everyone in the building can exhale. A collective breath holding here inside of Pla Mor Lanes towards that 10-pin. So, once again, I try to check the chat. I'm running the show here for you, everybody. So if I don't answer your question, I'd like to apologize, but I don't have the time to do it. As we're switching the show, putting up graphics. You get my own snack between games, I think, this game. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, though. You know, we make it here at 10 on the Deck Productions affordable so the host proprietors can bring us in and have a stream, and we really appreciate for great events like here in Coldwater at the PBA YouTube channel. Let's 10 on the Deck Productions stream there, and we also appreciate Bolt TV giving us the live streaming rights to this event. Hey-oh! Really thought that was going to get a bounce and kick that 6-pin out for Brett Lloyd. He'll go cross lane here on the spare with polyester, and you can't have a mental lapse at this point in the event. We saw several players miss chances to advance out of a round by a late missed single pin. And so I know that Brett and Trey, at least for a year in college, passed each other a few times in tournaments and such. Trey, the inaugural winner of the Open Classic division in the PBA LBC National Championships in 2023. You may have seen him on TV from that clash in Portland, Maine that Tom Doherty took down in 2023. And I'll be part of the production crew bringing you the PBA LBC National Championships Clash on September 27th at 5 p.m. here on the PBA YouTube channel. As our 8 division winners, including Chris Barnes in the Open Senior Classic division for Barnes, Stephanie Zavala in the Women's Classic division, Andrew Anderson in the PBA Exempt division, and 17-year-old Weston Griffin in the Open Classic division. Another 17. 2 of our winners in the Open Classic division in 3 years of the PBA LBC National Championships were 17 years old when they won. That's an amazing stat. Just goes to show how good the young talent is nowadays. And Trey, I don't even think he's 20 yet. Powers through and almost got a huge splash on the 10-pin. See their little frustration. I'm thinking to myself, he may have just up on the toes and hit a little hard on it, which forced it immediately left. And in this Viper pattern, I mean, between 8th board and 8th board, it is flat. Hi, Ethan. Our Brunswick Cup winner stopping by the booth, checking out the equipment we're using. He's too busy bowling all the time. He never gets to see what we do here in the booth. So, yeah, how about that? I mean, WCSM Radio, Brunswick, thanks once again for putting together the Brunswick Cup with our host centers and our sponsors of our events. I mean, 4 PBA players took down $10,000 in added money. There's $20,000 in added money here in Coldwater, thanks to our sponsors. There was a bunch of added money at the Kremer Roofing Classic last weekend. Added money in Delphos on Wednesday and Thursday as Lloyd, once again, 6-pin decides to take a nap instead of being active and doing its job to take out the 10. So we'll see. That's back-to-back 10s on that lane. We'll see if Brett Lloyd does something to get the ball to shape a little differently with the urethane, or maybe there might be a ball change in order. Stays with it. Yeah, you can see this 38-foot pattern. That ball gets off the end of the pattern before it gets to those outside 4 or 5 boards, and it wants to start to hook. You have to be careful with your polyester. Not give anything away. No, he's going to stay with run what you brung, kid. Why not? It's gotten you this far. yesterday later in the block on B squad, he was in reactive resin, and he was doing a great job shaping the shot. And somebody had a phone possibly go off. Nothing wrong with resetting there. Take your time. You only get one chance at your beverage frame a game. You better make it a good one. I'm sure there's a lot of team bowlers in the chat that can relate to that statement. There you go. Now we got it facing up properly. As Lloyd walks off, Heinrichsmeyer comes on for the beverage frame. Heinrichsmeyer can lead by 11. His mom Sam in the crowd. I know his dad Travis has got to be watching. Like I said, unfortunately can't check the chat. But glad to be able to let everybody, not just family members and friends, watch. Who's going to take home the 10K here in Coldwater? And Heinrichsmeyer doing his best to make that happen and get into the championship match. Great reaction there by Trey. Like, what do I got to do? These lanes are beating me up. It's like a prize fight right now. And it's not against the other player in your match. It's against lanes 9 and 10 here in Coldwater. Great quote from, and I can't remember who it was during the practice session, that said, "Welcome to Pla Mor Lanes. It's 8 centers in 1. And that's the thing, is what's good for one player, is ball roll, ball reaction, axis tilt, whatever, on a pair might be the worst thing in the world for another player on that same pair. And the players want to have it any other way, and I'll tell you what, the fans here in Coldwater want to have it any other way. And I talked about earlier, you don't usually roll 2 pins here. That's a rare event for breaking up a 210 this weekend. Heinrichsmeyer can't let that one get away. You get a chance to put a single pin spare on the board. Don't let it slide. Polyester in hand, the 13 board drift, and what do we say? You can't let it slide, and it slides into the gutter. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got ourselves a ball game here. Brett Lloyd entering the 6th frame. He can take the lead with a strike here. With a spare, he'll have a 1-pin advantage. Here you see how far to the right Lloyd's still standing. So you're trying to play 38 feet. You don't want to let the ball get out too far like that, because it doesn't come back. And 9 on that shot, not too bad. I mean, that ball had a break point about 6 or 5. And just, it's not going to come back from there in this center. Checking the soles of the shoes. Getting himself set. All over that spare. Crowd here in Coldwater appreciative of the efforts of these players today. And, oh, once again, I missed the keynote drawing. Son of a gun. Just started on the monitor. Hopefully they pick my numbers. Numbers right now for these players are maximum scores. 226 for Brett Lloyd, 225 for Trey Heinrichsmeyer. So technically at the moment, Lloyd with your 1-pin lead. And keeping it at a pin is Lloyd. Let's see what Heinrichsmeyer can do here to dump the memory bank of what happened in the 6th frame. I mean, got a huge, huge break to roll the 2 out of the 210. But then you can see the difference with Heinrichsmeyer. Look at his feet using reactive resin. And then the 13 board drift. And now Heinrichsmeyer. Told you, it's not going to take 240s or 250s to win these stepladder matches. Somebody shoots 250 in a stepladder match, they should get a plaque and a free dinner inside the lounge here at Pla Mor Lanes. Just enough of that 10-pin to get it down for Heinrichsmeyer. And once again, we want to thank our season-long sponsor of the 10 on Deck Productions. Live streaming the PBA YouTube, h5gbrands.com. Be bold, be creative, be original. h5gbrands.com. Looks like Heinrichsmeyer looking over a little bit, maybe that little bit of a bump left with the feet. And another phone ringing in the crowd here. So Heinrichsmeyer is going to start over. Technically, yes, there is a shot clock in all PBA competition, but I guarantee you today, nobody's going to be held to it on a phone ring. How about it? Oh, 6 does the job on the 10. And there you go. One pin match at the moment, but Brett Lloyd can make it an 11-pin match. If you can double up here in frame number 8, there you see all those plaques on the wall on lane 1. We talked about with Rick Hardings a little earlier. All the state championships for teams and individuals that Coldwater High School, St. Henry's High School have won over the years in Ohio State high school competition. Yikes. It's like there's a magnet to the head pin on an errant shot left. I mean, it's just a slight errant shot left. The big errant shots left are 3 off the left. Get 2, move on. No bounce. And the lead swings back to Heinrichsmeyer, and Heinrichsmeyer is going to be able to end this before Brett Lloyd can step up again. Lloyd's maximum down 194. If Heinrichsmeyer goes spare in the 9th, punch in the 10th, that's 195. So Heinrichsmeyer doesn't even need 3 in a row right away, 8, 9, 10. There is a spare in there. Heinrichsmeyer can still punch out to win. Once again, look at how far right Lloyd is as compared to Heinrichsmeyer. Is that going to hold? No. There's, wow. I don't know what he thought about that deep on that shot. That's a little surprising to me. I get that there's still a lot of oil there, but it's so flat. If you're not exact, not just with your target, but with your speed and making sure your rev rate's repetitive, you don't give it anything extra to take anything off. Lloyd gets to go, but now he's just an observer. See if, yep, Heinrichsmeyer is going to take the re-rack. Just like in other PBA competition. At any level, you're allowed 2 per game, and I can see why. That 6-pin a little back and wide. So Heinrichsmeyer shamming that ball off That rack looks better. Even though it's machinery, it's supposed to be repetitive. Every once in a while, something strange can happen. You get a little extra oil on a pin, or you get a little gouge in it, and it hangs up in a finger or hangs up in a pin cup. How about it? Welcome to Coldwater, Trey Heinrichsmeyer. I mean, there were pins going 7 ways to Sunday there, all over that pin deck. I don't think any of them were within a foot of the 7 or the 10. No, we had one made earlier this weekend on A squad. So it can be done here in Coldwater. But odds are right now, Trey's just going to worry about not losing count. Getting the 1. Oh, no, and he loses count. That's not the type of mistake we expect players to make at this level. Especially because that makes the road a little bit easier for Brett Lloyd to get past. I mean, Heinrichsmeyer right now strikes out 181. Lloyd would then need double and 8. Nope. That could have been 2, honestly. As quickly as he got that one to the right, that could have taken the 6-9 out. He's lucky he just got a little bit of that 3 pin. This is not, wow. This is not the Trey Heinrichsmeyer I've seen in the past, but then again, you're in Coldwater, man. You know how tough it's going to be. You've seen it all weekend long. When you're doubting your polyester ball because you know it's going to hook, when it gets off the Viper pattern, that can mess with your mind. He's got a 13-hour drive back to the Wichita State campus. I'm sure that's starting, well, it might be starting tonight. Who knows? I don't know if he's going to drive through the night. He might be so amped up if he misses out in this stepladder game and doesn't advance to the championship. He might be amped up. Here we go. And once again, that's a lucky 9 there. So 170 means a mark by Brett Lloyd, and he'll advance into our championship match against Zach Tackett. It would be the first brothers with their pictures on the PBA champions wall in the locker room here at Pla Mor Lanes. We had a 2-time champion of this event with Brian Wallachek a decade or so back. But never 2 family members. Uh-oh. All right. 4-pin it is. You could tell he was staring that one down for 65 feet. He waited till the ball was in the pit before he turned around from that pinfall. And it's not a gimme here either. I mean, he's going to need 8 pins on the next shot. We've seen stranger things happen here. Eight to take on Tackett. 7's a tie. 6 or less. And he may faint. I mean, look at that first ball of this game for Brett Lloyd. You've seen a 6 count on the score sheet already this game. Let's let the ball do the talking. Nine's enough. And Brett Lloyd with a 172 to 170 victory over Trey Heinrichsmeyer. Let's go to Bobby.
And Brett Lloyd moves on and he defeats Trey Hendricksmeyer 172 to 170, finishing in third place. Terrific tournament, Trey Hendricksmeyer.
All right, Zach Tackett's going to get his 8 practice shots out here. And then we'll be underway with our title match. McCormick get himself. I think you deserve that. I think if you're a player that was in the step ladder and you're eliminated, you should get a front row seat for the remaining competition. It's not a bad thing to have happen. And once again, we want to thank the great crowd here in Coldwater. Got the bleachers almost all filled. We had some of the seats in front were getting blocked by our cameras, so as we're bringing you all the action here for this PBABoulderStore.com Classic. And once again, can't do anything without sponsorship for these great PBA region events. And you'll see coming across your screen there all your diamond, platinum, and gold sponsors. And let's give you some of the silver and bronze sponsors as well. As we've got Healthy Lawns, Jerry Happy and Family, Mercer County Elks, Community Lanes in Minster, Cisco Foods, Imperial Tent Company, Varsity Lanes, American Rhine Metals, Speedway Lanes, Stroh Johnson and Company CPA, Wabash Communications, Preferred Insurance, Delphus Bowling and Recreation Center, Rockford Eagles, Bruce Rickard, Edward Jones, Westtown Party Mart, Plaza Lanes, Enyart Flooring, the St. Henry Bank, Western Bowling Proprietors Insurance, Trueland Equipment, Westgate Entertainment Center, Killis and Dayton, Astro Lanes, Randall Bearings, Coldwater Eagles, Coldwater USB-C, Rick's Pro Shop, Creature Mark, J&S Electronics, Mall Service Center, Johnny D Images, Mr. Shop, Prudential Advisors, Teaford Pizza and Subs, Borger Bicycles, Coldwater Implement, Chiefs Supermarket, Sandings Service Station, Lottie Office Supplies, Winners Meats, K9 Clubhouse, Mercer County Awards, Swain Outing and Patio, Visions Awards, Scott's Carryout, The People's Bank, Gels ICA, Brunette Dental, ICS Coffee, Coldwater Hardware, LaFeld Industrial and Welding Supplies, Coldwater American Legion, and Knapp's Carryout. We're going to let Zach practice. I'm going to go get some oxygen. All right, Zach Tackett finishing up his practice, talking things over with Bobby Jekyll. Zach will have lane choice for this championship match. He's already got $5,000 in his back pocket. Trey Hendricksmeyer took home $2,500 for his third place finish. $5,000 for second, $10,000 on top, thanks to all of our great sponsors here at the PBABoulderStore.com Classic. Another shot or two, and we'll be underway. Brett Lloyd his first 2 matches in the STEPLADDER. I don't care if it's Zach Tackett, Natalie Tackett, Ed Tackett, Sr. You beat a Tackett for a PBA title, you've earned it, and especially here in Coldwater. The thing is, Zach's been here before. Zach's won regional events. Zach's come close to making shows on the national tour. And he knows what he wants to do out here on the lanes. He was watching intently in that last match, seeing where both players were playing on the lanes. And here's a surprise, a Tackett with a Venom shock in their hand. I mean, I don't follow bowling balls that much, to be honest, anymore, with not bowling myself. When I do actually get the luxury of a color commentator, it's great to have it because they know all the equipment. But yeah, Tackett plus Venom shock usually means good bowling. And it looks like Zach is going to take lane choice and have Brett Lloyd start the match. All right, Bobby, here we go.
Hey, Rick. Lloyd on the left lane and then Zach on the right lane. Lloyd on the, Brad on the left and Zach on the right. Okay, and we are ready for our championship match. Brett Lloyd moves on. He will face our 4-time regional champion from Decatur, Indiana. Give it up for Zach Tackett. We'll go ahead and we will crown our champion after this match, so don't go anywhere. Gentlemen, good luck. How about one big round of applause for our final match of the day of the 2025 PBA BowlerStore.com Central Classic presented by Moxy's Extra Pair.
Thank you, Bobby, for everything all weekend long. Man, he fielded 93 bowlers and everything ran spectacularly smooth all weekend long here in Coldwater. Got to thank his assistant, too. Nina keeping things going as well. And all of our great volunteers. I mean, Rick and Linus Hardings and the Hardings family put together a slew of volunteers to make sure everything goes smoothly in this event, whether it's gathering scores, making sure the sponsor celebration on Saturday runs smooth and everybody has plenty of food and drink. There'll be a couple of volunteers helping out tonight, too, for the champions celebration out on the patio once we are done here with this championship match. How about it, shooter? Make it happen. Oh, did not miss by much. You see the big smile on the way back. But once again, Brett Lloyd with an early opening hasn't stopped them so far from getting through a couple of matches in the STEPLADDER, but now it's up to Zach Tackett to jump out to an early lead. Steps it out. Yeah. Just 2 left too quick for Tackett. See him tapping the shoe, blowing the thumb hole. Hard and straight. No noise when he set that ball down on the lane. And the opening spare, an early lead for Zach Tackett. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us here. I'm $2 Phil Brylow, taking you through this championship match. This is a 10 on the Deck production in conjunction with the PBA. Thanks to the PBA for letting us stream on their YouTube channel. Thanks to Bull TV for providing the rights to 10 on the Deck Productions for live streaming this weekend. Second frame, nope. Oh, that wasn't as much of a nope as I thought it was. I really thought that was going to be 2-pin light. I put a clip on my personal social media yesterday. It's on Facebook, Phil Brylow on Facebook. Zach Tackett had a great break, and then immediately on the very next shot, first ball of the next frame, got cold watered. with a pocket smash 7-9. It was, I mean, it wasn't high flush or anything. It was a flush pocket 7-9. So there were several cold waterings all weekend. Chris Prather got cold watered. That's out there as well. I don't think anybody's going to get cold watered. No, let's hope not in this match. Let's hope it doesn't get left to a player getting cold watered for the championship. Lloyd, second frame. It's time to shape it. Wow, that 5-pin was a little weak going down. Kind of heard it go, I guess I'll fall over as it drove its way through. So the day is done for urethane. Unless something majorly changes for Brett Lloyd. No, I have one of the Pro-Am t-shirts I'm wearing right now here in the booth, and they embrace the I got cold watered mantra. And any player that enters this event for the BowlerStore.com Classic presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair, if you pay that entry fee, you know what you're getting into. You know the tough test you're going to have. And once again, we talked about how tough it is to roll 2-pins on our light hits here. Brett Lloyd got a wiggle, but that's it. It's a cross lane on the spare. Stay within 11. Dead on it. And now let's see if Zach Tackett can make the fine tuning to turn those 9s into 10s. How about it? Well, the 4 goes last, but it goes. A little unusual there. Usually a hip-pin comes off the sideboard and does the job on the 4, sending it to the right, but that time that 4-pin just goes immediately forward. And Tackett now can turn an 11-pin advantage into a 21-pin advantage here in frame number 4. There you see Ethan Fiore, our Brunswick Cup winner. He's taking an extra $4,000 over to Sweden. Alec Keplinger taking an extra $2,000 over to Sweden, as Keplinger finished 3rd in the Brunswick Cup. That points list for players that participated in all 3 events between the Kremer Roofing Classic in Minster last weekend, the Dave and Diane Kill Open in Delphus, Ohio on Wednesday and Thursday, and then this BowlerStore.com Classic presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair this weekend. Patrick Dabrowski took home $3,000. Alec Keplinger had that $2,000 we talked about, and that one, yep, you see it gets too right too early, and it just never gets the chance to pick up. That's just a characteristic of the house. You know what you got to do. And we can't forget Chris Prather on that Brunswick Cup points list. Prather taking home the $1,000 4th place spot. Thanks once again to WCSM Radio here in Coldwater and Buzzer Media, along with the Brands of Brunswick, for really firing up that event. Nope. Wow, that ball hit the lane and hooked. I don't know if his eyes caught that. I'm sure thinking you at home had your eyes catch that. That polyester ball hit the lane and instantly moved like a board and a half to the left. Never had a chance to get to the head pin. And now Brett Lloyd finds himself down a lot early in the championship match. That $5,000 difference is $5,000 difference at the pay window. I wouldn't want to think about that on a car ride home. Beverage frame. Yikes, there's a buyer. 3, 6, 7, 10. And this one is getting away from Brett Lloyd quickly, and he made the jump out of urethane. And now the liquid reactive has not been anything putting confidence in each of those shots. You got to go for it here. You got your opponent working on a double. Count is irrelevant at the moment. How about it, shooter? There you go. Great cover, Brett Lloyd. Crowd appreciative of the efforts there. And I think we're going to wait, wait a second as the rack came down on 9 and dropped the pin. So Zach is going to reset the other lane since it's missing the 3 pin. Obviously doesn't count as an official re-rack on his scorecard. Let's see what he can do here to extend. How about some gobbling in Pla Mor? Oh, there's some gobbling here in Pla Mor. Turkey on the board for Tackett. And if he can extend this to 4 in a row, it's mandatory strike mode for Brett Lloyd, no doubt about it. Is the most Lloyd can get is 223, and after Tackett gets another strike, Tackett will be pacing in the 220s, alternating spares and strikes. For the Rob Stone pork product. Nope. That one ended up in the pigsty. As the 4, 6, and 7 stand for Zach Tackett. Still has the lead. Get the count. Played okay. Well, that was interesting. Almost spun that 4-pin back across the pin deck. Fell off, though, before it could get to the 6. Still a large lead here for Zach Tackett. He's up by 31, regardless of what Brett Lloyd does in this frame. A little better shot. Yeah, ball change there, a lot better reaction. All right, let's not count Brett out of it yet. He's down by a bunch, but saw it numerous times late in blocks this weekend, whether it was qualifying last night or Cashier's round of 16 today. Not so much drama in the round of 8. But, yeah, 2 or 3 bad frames for somebody can really change the momentum for their opponent. To cut the deficit to 21. There you go. He ain't dead yet. I know Zach's got to empty the memory banks. Get that quality shot. It's been a busy summer for Zach Tackett and his lovely girlfriend, Kayla Crawford. We talked to Kayla yesterday about all the work she's doing with the American Cancer Society in Fort Wayne. Zach and his brother EJ working on remodeling a lot of the stuff at Easy Bowl in Bluffton. There's the 4. Thought maybe something to get over to the 10 on that hit. But not the case for Zach. No problem with the cross lane cover. So your maximum score for Zach Tackett, 234. As we mentioned earlier, 223 the max for Brett Lloyd. So a strike here goes a long way to keeping Tackett of the Zach variety in the lead. As we get deep into this championship match, that $5,000 difference between first and second place looming large. I don't think the ball's slowed down. I got out to the mini golf course. I don't think it's slowed down yet. My goodness. Zach gave it all on that shot. Got to give a shout out to Ronnie Russell, Tom Smallwood, our winners of the annual putt-putt competition on the Thursday prior to this BowlerStore.com Classic at Adventure Mini Golf out behind the bowling center here at Pla Mor Lanes. And once again, a winner of the putt-putt competition was not a winner of the BowlerStore.com Classic for the 17th consecutive year. It's like that Legends of the Masters tournament. You don't want to win the par 3 tournament in Augusta because your legend has it you're not going to win the Masters itself. I think that was finally broken a few years back. Looks pretty solid. Oh, how about that for Brett Lloyd? That ball change. Bet you wish he made that a couple of frames earlier when he got out of urethane. Just a little smoother motion. He's able to play a little bit deeper in the pattern. I mean, it's still really flat in there. You know he's making great shots. And if he strikes here, he cannot be shut out by Zach Tackett. Tackett's maximum 220. This would still give Lloyd the opportunity for 223 in the 10th frame. How about it? Oh, third effort by the 6-pin. Second effort got close, and then another bounce by that 6-pin. Takes the 10 out, and what a comeback by Brett Lloyd. Didn't let the early 3-bagger by Zach Tackett shake him. And now Tackett has to strike here to really keep the pressure on in the 10th frame with Brett Lloyd. What do you think, Zach? Oh, I think he thought it was better watching that reaction. I really think he thought that was going to be maybe high flush. I don't think he was thinking big 4. Wow. You look at that scoreboard in the 5th frame, you go, my goodness, this one's going to be a runaway possibly. Yeah, it's running away all right. Unfortunately, it's running away from Zach Tackett. 194 now in the max. Strikeout here is still going to force Brett Lloyd to mark. Anything less, and then it's just count for Lloyd, and it's over. Wrap 10, wow. That 6-pin couldn't have gone past it any quicker. My goodness. And it's done. What a ball change. What a comeback by Brett Lloyd. Tackett, yeah, this one's going to sting on the drive back to Indiana. No doubt about it. I mean, $5,000 isn't a bad consolation prize. That'll go a long way towards the new carpeting they put in all summer long. That easy bowl. Just keep it on the lane, young man. You're taking home one of the toughest regional titles to win in America here at Pla Mor Lanes in Coldwater. How about it? Yeah, that's plenty. But no, I'm sorry, he needs one more. Right now we're at a tie. Math while steering a camera, talking, and chewing gum sometimes gets a little tough on my end. But yeah, he just needs a single stick. Take home a 5-figure check. I don't think he's taken home many of those so far in his bowling career. And get himself up here on the wall of champions at Pla Mor Lanes. There's your one. Make it 3. And there's your champion, Brett Lloyd. You have won in Coldwater. You have joined some greats that have won in Coldwater. Tommy Jones, Jacob Buttruff, Rhino Page, Darren Tang, Graham Fa, just to name a few. Enjoy the moment, Brett Lloyd. You've earned it. Through 21 total games of competition, 18 before we got to the step ladder and 3 in the step ladder, you grounded out. You made it work. And you can call yourself the champion of the BowlerStore.com Classic presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair. Stay with us. We're going to have a check and trophy presentation directed by our regional manager, Bobby Jekyll, momentarily.
And Brett Lloyd defeats Zach Tech at 199 to 184. He is your 2025 PBA BowlerStore.com Central Classic, presented by Moxy's Xtra Pair champion.
Don't hurt yourself, Bobby. We need you. I think Bobby forgot the microphone was still on for a second. There you see Patty Hardings talking with our winner. There you see Rick Hardings writing the winner's name on the check.
As we are getting preparations ready for the awards presentation, how about a nice round of applause for our second place competitor, Zach Tackett. Both fantastic today. Obviously, we'd like to bring out the Hardings family. We'd like to bring out the Davidson family. Okay. When you win in Coldwater, this truly is a family event, for sure. Our 2025 champion, making the trek from Iowa, regional title number 2. So big congratulations. Come on out, Brett. Brett Lloyd.
Yeah, on behalf of Pla Mor Lanes and BowlerStore.com, Doug and Lori Davidson, we'd like to congratulate Brett on your second win for $10,000. Before we get too far, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, 73 sponsors this year. We'd like to thank all of our volunteers that helped set up all week and hopefully tearing down this evening. And our staff in the kitchen, Patty and the girls, her crew. Yesterday's party was really good. All the food was awesome. So another great turnout. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, we'll do it. No, let's let you talk.
Okay, I'll talk.
We're going to turn it over to Brett and have him say a few words. We'll get more pictures.
All right. Wow, this is crazy. This is really unexpected, honestly. I want to thank everybody here at Coldwater. This is my first time out here. I've heard stories about this place, and so going in, I really didn't have a lot of expectations. I just think it was an amazing event. Thanks for everybody involved. The food was great. The cornhole was fun. So, yeah, big thanks to everybody. Thanks to my sponsor, Coolwick, and thanks to all the Mount Mercy guys back home, hopefully watching. Hopefully my girlfriend, my family back home. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much.
All right, there's your champion, Brett Lloyd, getting the picture taken. Just a little bit of the Hardings family in that shot. There's the wide shot with the Hardings family. Thanks again for the Hardings family hospitality. Thanks to all of our volunteers that have been here all weekend long at Pla Mor Lanes for the BowlerStore.com Classic. Thanks to our sponsors, BowlerStore.com with Doug and Lori Davidson. Thanks to Doug and Lori for hosting at Minster Lanes last weekend. Thanks to the Kill family for hosting at Delphos Recreation Center midweek. Thanks to the Hardings family for hosting here. And all three centers being part of that great Brunswick Cup that added another $10,000 into the PBA players' pockets from the points list this week. I'm $2 Phil Brilo. Parents take the kids bowling because they're going to have fun for life. We'll hopefully see you from Fox 3 Lanes in September for another PBA regional event. Once that's finalized, we'll get it out there on the $2 Phil and 10 on the Deck Productions Facebook page. If you haven't followed me there, please do so. And if you haven't followed and liked the PBA YouTube page, what are you waiting for? Great content coming out, even though it's not the PBA main season right now, waiting for that 2025 schedule to be announced. 2026 schedule to be announced. Get all the latest and greatest videos here on the PBA YouTube channel. I'm $2 Phil Brilo. Hey, parents, take the kids bowling because you know they're going to have fun for life. There's your champion, Brett Lloyd, and we'll see you soon here on the PBA YouTube channel. Good night, everybody.